Hey guys, it is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur here, coming at you tonight. It's July 8th. We're still on Friday. It's early enough. It's not into Saturday yet. And well, thank you for popping by. If you are new, you're going to see the QR code at the top right. Use your phone, point it to that QR code. It'll take you to my link tree with lots of great information to improve the quality of your life and everyone else in it that you care so very much about. Also, check out the very top link, John's Daily National Day video. Every single day we have that, and you definitely want to check that out. Every week we have a master topic that starts on Saturday, and that'll be starting tomorrow, and it ends today on Friday. So it's 7 days. If you're coming back, well, welcome back, my friends, colleagues, and associates. It's so wonderful to have you here supporting me. Thank you so much for being here. And let's get right into what that master topic is, right? That master topic that we've talked so much about. But before I reveal, I'm going to say the magic of that, because everybody wants to know what is the master topic. And the thing about the master topic is that it's about what we talk about every single week. But what we do is we just kind of get a little more granular each day. So, what is that topic? How does discipline lead to success series? And we're on episode 7, which is the master wrap up. All right. This has been a real week because, I've been doing this and I was traveling. So, when we think about success, we have to think about a journey. We have to think about a starting point. And although we don't end, we keep evolving and morphing. So, what is success? Well, success is when we achieve a goal. But remember, success is not just getting somewhere, success is the journey, right? It's not an ending. In order to be successful, we don't do it once and then we stop. No, we have to keep being successful. We have to keep getting involved. And so we learned earlier in the week that success is about a habit, it's about a pattern. And when we learn what actually causes us to have positive momentum, which are things that are less than negative, obviously they're positive. They're more important than the negative, right? So if they're not positive, then they would be negative or less important than positive. So when we learn what actually gets us to catapult forward, then we keep doing that again. First, we do it a second time and say, hey, was it a fluke? No, but then it keeps working for us. Just like, when I post social media, right? What gets me an average of anywhere from a minimum of 500 to several thousand views an Instagram post? It's knowing what is going to engage people. Okay. And I think the interesting thing about it is that when you have something that's human like, right? I'm not talking about, you know, being outside and trying to make something look human. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you have something in your life and you're actually, impressing upon that fact. This is when people want to watch what you're doing. I mean, this is what they want to do. They want to watch what you're doing. And so the reason that they want to watch what you're doing is because it makes a difference for people. It makes a difference. And so what is that difference? Well, the difference is that when you learn what it is that's going to propel you forward, you keep doing that minimally, but then you try to tweak it. You try to make it a little bit better. And so every single day, you guys know there's a new national holiday. Tomorrow, you'll have to wait. There's one coming up as well. So success oftentimes frustrates people because they don't know how to get there. And so they demotivate themselves because they get frustrated, they get angry. And it's not their fault, it's the fact that they haven't learned yet. And so learning can sometimes have lots of challenges, right? It can have pitfalls to where things are actually going to be. But if we understand what a pitfall is and we understand how to back out, or we understand what a pitfall can be, then I think we have a greater chance of being successful. So once we get successful, then we want to keep doing that over and over and over and over again. Now, throughout the week, we've learned that success is a pattern, right? And so it's a pattern, it's also a habit. And we've said that habits don't form overnight. They can take anywhere from 15, 30, 45, 60, or 90 days to form. When a habit gets ingrained in your mind and your body, and you don't do it, it's like, oh my gosh, you feel like something's wrong if you don't do it, right? So when we think about success, let's take something really simple. Maybe we're making a recipe, and success for us is knowing that that recipe turned out exactly the way we wanted, or better than the way we wanted to. And so in order to be successful, we need to practice, right? We practice. Practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes things better. So when we learn what works, we tweak it. And then we keep refining it until we get the maximum that we can get, just like on social media or in any type of other campaigns that we do, or videos, or etc., or any process in business. So I think people get frustrated because they're like, okay, I got to do this, but then they have no benchmark. This happens with a lot of companies. They get told by management, well, this is what you need to do to be successful, but they don't really know what being successful is. I mean, they say, well, gee, you have to make a lot of money, you've got to sell a lot of tickets for the fundraiser, but they don't really know. They don't understand what it means to be successful. They don't understand the process because they've never done it before. And so one of the hardest things for people to do is to become successful when they don't know what it feels like to be successful. That's why millionaires have trouble. People that are trying to become millionaires don't become it right away because they don't understand the thinking process. It's different than somebody that's not a millionaire or a billionaire. And so when we can embrace our world and we can embrace the fact that habits, good habits, repeat over time, become ingrained to be part of our automatic nervous system, autonomous nervous system, and it just kind of happens on autopilot. And when that happens, it starts to become part of our RAS, our reticular activating system. Hey there, Kenny. Great to see you. So tonight's topic is, we're ending actually this week on it, is how does discipline lead to success? And all week, we've been talking about the fact that, people get told by companies, by their parents, by their friends, they wanted to be successful or be successful, but they don't really know what it means to be successful or how to be successful. Maybe you've never cooked anything in the kitchen and you have to be a success, but you've never had any failures. You've never had any sessions where you've learned. When people make mistakes, they're not failures. They're lessons that people learn so they can become better. They're failures if people decide, okay, I'm quitting. Now, if you have something you do and you do it wrong and you learn from that lesson, great. Learn from the lesson and make it better next time. And see, somebody that's actually been part of something, this is why they say you need to have so many years experience in X. It's because somebody that doesn't have experience in X can't ever be successful unless they have somebody that's mentoring them, right? Now, this can seem really daunting, right? And it might frustrate you because you're probably saying, well, John, how do I become successful? It's like the old chicken and the egg philosophy, right? How do I become successful if I don't know how to be successful? Or what does it feel like to be successful? We've talked about the fact many times that you need to feel it first and manifest it second. But how do you manifest something if you don't know how the heck it's going to feel? That's going to really send you for a quarry, right? Or a real loop. And so what we say to people is read others' autobiographies so you can learn about them, learn about their mind process, and get involved with a process and feel the process. And as things change, You need to change and adapt and morph with that. We've said before in success, the ones that are successful are the ones that can be a chameleon, the ones that can adapt to change. We've said this many, many times. But then why do people not do it? Well, they think that they're just going to suddenly come on the scene and they're going to become abundantly successful. And as much as I want that to be true for you, that's never going to happen. If you never planned a concert before, and suddenly you've been tasked with this project from your, let's say, charity or your company, and saying, hey, you got to put on this fundraiser and this concert, but you have no idea how to do it. You don't even know how to sell tickets. You don't know where to get the food. You don't know how to organize it. And suddenly this becomes so much of a pain point that you become frustrated, and you know what happens? You give up. Or what you do is you hire somebody. But that's not the right way either. What you really want is somebody that can mentor you, not do the work for you. So next time you're like, oh, fundraiser, I know what we have to do. We've got to do this, 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 and this. Even when we do stories to reach the media, right? What we think might be newsworthy oftentimes is not. So we have to look at what's trending. And then when we know what's trending, we put our own spin on it. And then that gets them to want to follow us, because the media is interested in one thing, a story that's something they want to cover, something they deem is newsworthy. So you can keep slamming them with ideas all day long, but you know what happens? They ignore them because they're not newsworthy. We might say, John, it's newsworthy to me. Yeah, but what's newsworthy to you or newsworthy to me in one situation may not be newsworthy to the press. That's why being on track and knowing trends, just like with, social media and stuff like that, when I post things, you don't necessarily know what's gonna get a view, but you kind of have an idea. And when you have that idea, it causes people to think about something in a very unique way. And so understanding that in order for you to be successful, you first have to understand where you want to get to. We've talked about this before in the week. You could have the most sophisticated GPS system in your car, the most expensive one money can buy. And two things are a fact. One, if you don't ever leave and get onto the course and you stay stationary, you're never going to get there. If you start on your path and you don't follow the directions of the GPS, you're probably not going to get to your destination. The GPS will guide you to your destination, but you have to get on the course, right? You have to get on that route. It usually says that navigation will start, route guidance will start once you get on the scheduled route, or route guidance will start when you turn on the street or something. And so that's one thing. The second thing is, if you don't follow the directions, because the GPS system is meant to put you on track. It's meant to tell you how to get there, and it's meant to tell you what to do if you get off track. But if you don't listen to that and take the feedback, you know what happens? You get nowhere, and you become extremely frustrated. This is why so many people I talk to don't become successful, because something got in their way. And things that get in their way are not meant to keep you from success. They're meant to be a lesson, a teacher that can say to you, look, this isn't the right path. You got to take another turn. But sometimes people get so stuck in their ways that they don't want to make the turn. They're emphatic that this is the right way, and it's not the right way, right? So I think it's important to understand that feeling where you're going is very important when it comes to success. In fact, I think it's inevitable. If you don't feel where you're going, you're not going to reach it. You might get there by accident, but you're not going to be able to get there again. How many of you have ever gotten a car and you know how to get to a certain place, right? You know how to get there because you felt the directions. You were part of the process and you easily can get to that place. And if you couldn't do it once, if you went there once or twice, next you're like, oh, I know how to get there. I know once I've driven somewhere, I always remember how to get there. Now, unless it was something with like 700 million turns, then okay, it might take a few trips. But you see what I'm saying? You start to feel your way to success. You envision success. Success patterns or habits need to be formed. You do those patterns, you make those part of your reticular activating system, part of your autonomic nervous system. You keep doing those things, and then you keep making those course corrections as you get that feedback, because feedback is the breakfast of champions. That's it. And if you keep following that, guess what? You're going to get to your destination. Just look at your GPS. Success is a destination, but success is also the journey. So if you get to the destination, you get your brand new car, that's wonderful. But in order to stay successful, you need to stay on a path. You need to set another goal. Most people say to me, John, I've reached my success. No, you became successful once, but you stopped being successful. And people scratch their like, what do you mean? Well, you were successful to get here, but then you decide to throw the towel in and realize that you don't need to do anymore because you think you're successful already. You were successful once. You have to keep that same spirit, that same enthusiasm, that same creativity, that same diligence to your feedback so that you can course correct. Same thing happened, when I went from 249 pounds to now 183, 140 pounds, and I'm still on the track down to 165. I took course corrections. I threw out 7 or 8 of supposedly the best trainers. They were horrible. In fact, 3 of them went out of business. They were trying to guilt me into what to eat and not eat. But that wasn't working for me. What worked for me is doing things like using my Fitness Pal and going in there and logging stuff. I mean, that's what worked for me. I mean, tonight, for example, I had my dinner. And I actually had a hamburger tonight, and then I had some salad. Okay, and you might say, John, well, how does that work? Well, it works because now you get feedback. So I put the burger in, then I'm going to put in the salad. Okay, and when I put the salad in, the next thing I had that fudge pop, right? You remember I had that before, so I put that in there. And I see where I am with my numbers. And I'm pretty far away from where I need to be. I need to be a certain number or I won't lose weight. And I think what happens is when you start to understand your barometer and you start to get a feel for where you're going, now you're able to course correct. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, been a pleasure, been an honor to be with you this evening, as it has been every single day of the week. We have another great series coming up for you guys. Yes, tomorrow, Saturday. I would really appreciate if you'd love, support, like the channel, and then be sure to comment below. What does success mean to you? Have you installed patterns, and did you know about these patterns? Or do you just kind of wing it? Do you course correct? Do you take feedback and make adjustments? Or do you get somewhere and then you just kind of hope that you get there? And then you're wondering, well, why am I not getting to be any more successful? Because you're not following the breakfast of champions. You're not taking the feedback and allowing it to alter. Remember in the beginning of the week, I talked about a company. I didn't mention their name, but I worked on this project in college where we were adjusting blades, and every millionth blade, we kept making these servo motor micro adjustments. And so maybe every millionth blade, we'd make 1, 2, or 3 adjustments. So we'd only lose 2 or 3 blades every million. That wasn't bad. And so by making those servo wheel adjustments, which is a lot easier than making it by hand because they were just so precise, And then we had the laser checking it to make sure that the blade was right on where it should be. We could tell how sharp it was just by how the laser beam was hitting it. So pretty cool stuff. Definitely comment below what you guys think, what you thought about success, what you thought about this whole week, and how has discipline been something that you've used or something you will use to help get you to reach your first milestone of your first success. And I would really love you to tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media, and then go to my YouTube channel, John Space E Space MORLEY Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for that key phrase to help keep our content free. Below that, click on the PayPal link. Click on that link and buy my team and I a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful. Those pennies and dollars will invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, and even new facilities and staff to give you the most jaw-dropping motivational content. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I'll be back, yes, tomorrow with a brand new master topic. And I know you guys can't wait for that. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.